This is Cable 18, the Cherry Hill Public Schools television station.
Good evening and welcome to the West Report. I'm Josh Cook.
And I'm Melissa Bernstein. Last Friday night, September 17th, West's annual beach party dance was held. Outside it was raining cats and dogs, but inside the sun shone as students said goodbye to the last waves of summer. The students danced to beach tunes and enjoyed the hot volleyball competition in the gym. Congratulations to the senior class on a successful evening. Auditions for West Children's Show were held on Monday, September 21st. Mr. O'Donnell will be directing the show, which this year will be The Truth About Dragons. The biggest treat of all is that the show will be performed on Saturday, October 31st, Halloween.
This week in sports, the big story is the West girls tennis team. They're undefeated with a 5-0 record. Doubles teams Laura Sweeney and Teresa Onario, along with singles Maria Honario and Liz and Jen Tercy, have led this team to their elite status as number 1 in South Jersey. The football team is getting ready for the first game against number 2 ranked Camden, at Camden on Saturday at 1:30. Although Camden is favored against a small West team, West expects to put up a good fight. On Friday, the varsity hockey team came from behind to tie Pennsauken 2-2. Michelle Bianco and Junmi Chong tallied the scores for West. The Lions are off and running to a great start this fall season, so come out and support the team. Recently, I had a chance to talk to some students and faculty members about what their plans would be for the upcoming 4-day break. We have a 4-day weekend coming up this Thursday, and I was wondering what would be your plans?
Well, I'm going to sleep for a long time, and I'm probably going to have to work for a while, too. So it's going to be a boring weekend.
What are your plans this upcoming weekend?
Probably 3 things I do best: sleep, shop, and pull around, party.
Well, the first 2 days are Rosh Hashanah, so I have to go to services, but after that I'll probably just sleep.
Thursday I have off, Friday I have football practice, and Saturday West opens a football season against Camden. And Sunday we have off.
And you're going to be in that game?
I hope so.
And what are your plans?
Wednesday and Thursday I'll be swimming at Wahoo's, and Friday I'll be biking around, and Saturday, Sunday playing football and basketball.
And what are your plans for the upcoming 4-day weekend?
Well, we have a game coming up with Woodrow Wilson at 11 o'clock, so we're not allowed to practice, but we will be practicing 6 o'clock on Friday night, after the holiday is over. And then we have a game scheduled, and we have another football meeting, so my weekend will be taken up with football the entire weekend. There will be no holiday for me.
So, Mr. Genovese, what are your upcoming plans for this weekend?
Well, it's not really what I want to do. I have to paint a house. So I'll be painting a house Thursday and Friday. Saturday and Sunday will be just like a normal weekend, and do some biking, and probably a movie Saturday evening, and Sunday, church and around the house.
Well, Miss Raymond, what are your plans for the upcoming 4-day vacation?
Well, I plan to do a lot of shopping because I'll have a lot of free time, and if the weather's nice, I plan to do some outdoor activities, maybe go down the shore. That's about it.
So, Rod, what are your plans for this weekend?
Let's see. Oh, I have to work this weekend. I'll juggle. We'll juggle together, okay, Josh? Let's see. We might make a movie. Let's see. I'll socialize, ride my skateboard, do other neat stuff like that. I'll be busy.
Excuse me. I was wondering what your plans would be for the 4-day weekend coming up.
The what?
The 4-day weekend.
It's a 4-day weekend?
As you can see, West is in a state of confusion over the 4-day weekend coming up. But whatever your plans may be, make sure they're safe ones.
The beginning of a new school year always brings new faces to West's teaching staff. Starting tonight, we will be presenting the first of a series of profiles on these new teachers. Tonight we are featuring Mrs. Mary Blum. Mrs. Blum earned her bachelor's degree in regular elementary, master's degree in secondary sciences, and certificates in special education at Glassboro State College. She has taught at 6 other New Jersey schools and most recently taught 7th grade resource at Beck Junior High. Here at West, she is teaching special education, reading, math, and careers. Our best wishes to Mrs. Blum on a successful school year.
After the junior school news, Film Forum will present Scarlet Street, starring Edward G. Robinson. As usual, Mr. Truitt will host, and his guest tonight is film buff Ken Garland of WPEN.
Thank you for watching the West Report. Please join us next week at the same time. Good night.
Good evening, and welcome to the September 23rd edition of EastCast. I'm Michelle Simonkowski, along with my co-anchor, Dan Hutter, to bring you the news of this week. The big stories this week again involve Constitution Week, Spirit Week, and the many accomplishments of our students here at East. As we all know, last Thursday, our nation celebrated the bicentennial of the making of our Constitution. Millions across America watched the ceremonies and fireworks from Philadelphia, and a great feeling of fun and pride was felt. Wednesday at East, we celebrated as the band played the national anthem, the ROTC team raised the flag, and classes studied the Constitution. In the afternoon, classes were interrupted to listen to the ex-Chief Justice Warren Burger as he read the preamble to the Constitution. President Reagan also was heard over the intercom as he led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Here at Cherry Hill East, we are especially proud of one of our students, Dan Palazzo. A senior at East, Dan made a special appearance last Thursday on television as he presented his own version of the Constitution to ex-Chief Justice Burger. This Constitution was constructed by Dan, as well as 200 other students from across the nation who attended a special convention at the University of Pennsylvania this past summer. The 4-day convention, sponsored by the National Convention for Christians and Jews, was called Democracy is Us. The students took classes to discuss United States democracy, and as they learned, they succeeded in writing up their very own Constitution. Now, although writing your signature on the document to make it authentic is probably very exciting, I'm sure getting a phone call saying you'll be on television for the Constitution ceremonies is probably even more exhilarating. And yet this is exactly what Dan Palazzo experienced. We're very proud to say that Dan goes to Cherry Hill East, and we'd like to give him all the praise that he deserves. Congratulations, Dan.
We the people, or you the voters, is a slogan which has significance for all of us here at East. It is the winning slogan in the New Jersey Voter Slogan Contest, and the winner who submitted it is our very own Dana Rosansky. A senior at East, Dana attended Rider College this past summer for New Jersey Girls State. It was there that she first heard about the contest and decided to use her imagination to think up the most catchy slogan and to enter the contest. It is quite an honor for Dana because there were 535 other contestants who also hoped to win. But Dana's slogan, "We the people, Are You the Voters won first place and will now be seen on all material published by the state with respect to elections. The winning slogan will also be forwarded to Washington, D.C. to compete as one of New Jersey's 2 entries in the National Voter Registration Slogan Contest. Many congratulations are offered to you, Dana Rosansky, for your accomplishment. East is very proud of you.
Congratulations to Cherry Hill East's 22 National Merit semifinalists: Jason Alexander, Ted Anderson, Matthew Dowdle, Howard Ding, Elizabeth Eastwood, Ted Fisher, Alexander Franco, Jennifer Friedman, my co-anchor Dan Hutter, Catherine Jacobowitz, Angela Lee, Mehul Mehta, Greg Miller, Rick Moracek, Swati Nambori, Brady Richter, Michelle Rosen, Brad Rothenberg, Dana Rosansky, Darshak Sangavi, Courtney Standish, and Miriam Zibel. Cherry Hill East surpassed its previous high of 15 National Merit Scholars, and East has the largest number of semifinalists in the entire state of New Jersey. These 22 students are in the top 0.5% of all the students in New Jersey who took the PSAT last year. These students have brought great honor to themselves, their families, and to Cherry Hill East. Congratulations are also in order to one of our students here at East. Agnes Kang, a senior at East, has just received news that she has won a writing contest sponsored by the National Council of Teachers in English. Last spring, Agnes and 4 other East students faced blank paper, 2 topics from which to choose, and an ominous time limit. Each of them wrote, and afterwards submitted their essays in hope of writing their best work. It's obvious that Agnes submitted something spectacular, and soon she will receive a certificate for her accomplishment. Congratulations, Agnes, and good luck with more writing contests.
Today ended Cherry Hill East's exciting Spirit Week. Events began last Friday night with the Spirit Week dance and the pie eating contest. 3 students from each grade raced to consume a large cream pie without using their hands. The freshmen came in first for attendance at the dance, followed by the seniors. The pie eating contest was won by the seniors, with the sophomores coming in second. On Sunday was the Cougar Relay, combining various contests, such as eating applesauce through a straw, field goal kicking, and putting in 3 serves in tennis. All the events were combined into one long race, with the seniors coming in first, followed by juniors. Monday night was the tug of war, with the senior boys and freshman girls taking first place. The sophomores took first place in the tricycle race contest. Yesterday were the cake decorating and the milk drinking contests. The cake decorating contest was highlighted by cakes of a lifeguard stand for the senior theme of the beach, Pebbles and Bam Bam for the juniors' Flintstones theme, Ronald Reagan's portrait for the White House theme of the sophomores, and Mickey Mouse and Pinocchio for the freshmen's movie theme. In the milk drinking contest, a guy from each grade sits on the lap of a girl and is fed milk through a baby bottle. The results were seniors 900 points, sophomores 750 points, juniors 650 points, freshmen 500 points. Today was the King and Queen contest, Color Day, and the pep rally. The pep rally was highlighted by the jump rope contest and the introduction of the fall sports teams. It was the culmination of a week of fierce competition and class and school spirit. We will bring you a Spirit Week update next Wednesday. Michelle?
Thank you, Dan. Congratulations to Officer Jim Wood, who completed his training at the Burlington County Police Academy during the summer. Officer Wood and Officer Sandy Lazar are the people to see if you have a problem. The campus police office is located across from the cafeteria near F-Wing. Make note of these important upcoming events. Higher Education Night will be held on Tuesday, October 6th. Check on the colleges of your choice. Back to School Night is on Thursday, October 22nd, and the Home and School Association is sponsoring a faculty reception on Friday, November 6th. Here at East, many students are actively involved in the Cable 18 Club. Eric Friedman spoke with our advisor, Ms. Peggy Beck, about the club.
I'm sure many people watching EastCast at home take for granted how the whole show is put together. Could you please explain the process of putting together each week's show?
every week's show actually begins at the end of the previous week's show. We begin figuring out what activities need to be covered for interviews or different stories. We ask teachers to highlight or feature different student accomplishments or events. So we always have co-anchors scheduled every week and interviewers scheduled every week. The interviewers bring me questions. We check the questions and see what else should be added or which ones are going to have the best pacing. I work with scripts with individuals so that there are always things due throughout the week. It's a 7-day job.
Kind of like a never-ending pit, I guess. How would a student get involved with EastCast?
We just had our first meeting where we invited new members as well as the older members. And the way we work it at East is we schedule those people who have had experience with interviews are scheduled for co-anchor positions. And mainly the juniors and seniors are used. But last year we had a lot of freshmen who became involved, so there are quite a number of sophomores who will be co-anchoring this year. Once they have experience with interviews, or reviews of some nature, then they can be scheduled for co-anchoring. And last year we started a new program, Eastview, and that was to give some of the other students a chance. Eastview, we will be starting again in a couple of weeks. Eastview will be every other week or at least once a month with TV reviews, movie reviews, editorials, record reviews, concert reviews, play reviews, whatever kinds of things represent the view of the members of East.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Many people think that EastCast is a new program, but actually it's been going on for quite some time. Isn't that true?
Well, this is our 7th season. It's very hard to believe that it's been that many years.
I think that's longer than Hill Street Blues was on. As every loyal EastCast viewer knows, at the end of each newscast, one of the co-anchors wishes a good night to the show's mascot, Ophelia. Please tell everyone more about this mysterious mascot, and do you know if Cherry Hill East is the only news show to have a mascot?
Well, I don't know whether we're the only ones, but certainly Ophelia has become quite a celebrity. Ophelia is a Bichon Frise. She is named after Shakespeare's girlfriend in Hamlet, Hamlet's girlfriend Ophelia, and we call her a telebichon. And she really enjoys getting dressed up and ending the show for us. So she lives with me, and she puts up with all of the costumes just for the show.
Remember, you too can say goodnight to the legendary Ophelia by joining the Cable Club here at Cherry Hill East. Thank you very much, Respect. This has been Eric Friedman for EastCast.
This year promises to be an outstanding year for East fall sports teams. East fall teams last year were ranked the best overall of any South Jersey school in the Philadelphia Inquirer. The boys soccer team began its season ranked #1 by the Philadelphia Inquirer's preseason poll. Their season opened Saturday with a 10-0 win against Triton. Yesterday, the team played #3 ranked Shawnee in possibly their toughest game of the season. The girls soccer team won 5-0 with Andrea Rubio scoring 4 of the 5 goals and Rebecca Stein scoring the 5th goal. Christine Saniel and Katie Fox kept the shutout in goal. Yesterday, they traveled to Triton for their second tough game of the season. The field hockey team tied its first game 0-0 against Lenape. Heather McDevitt had 11 saves to record her first shutout. The boys gymnastics team opens its season with the Devils Classic on Saturday at Hunterdon Central. A number of teams, along with East, will be competing. The girls' gymnastics team is also scheduled to begin its season this week. The girls' tennis team won its first match against Triton 5-0. The second, against Pennsauken, was rained out, and the third, against Paul VI, resulted in another win for East.
The East Cross Country team started their racing season this past Saturday at Toms River. Becky Dreyfus was a medal winner in the freshman race. Floyd Lewis won a medal in the junior competition, and 6 seniors, Greg Height, Steve Brooks, Mike Perlmutter, Parshu Shah, Vince Bong, and Jason Rothenberg, won medals in the senior race. Over 400 runners competed in the races. Congratulations to all of you.
This week, Mr. Frank, the boys' gymnastics coach, wishes to acknowledge the contributions of Scott Drucker. Mr. Frank says, Scott Drucker is a junior who has gone through a tough freshman and sophomore year, having knee surgery and back problems. Doctors thought his gymnastics career might be at an end. However, through Scott's tremendous efforts and tremendous determination to be the best he could be, Scott is back doing an Olympic skill. He's performing giants on rings to a swing handstand, a skill that is of Olympic caliber. Good luck to Scott for this year's gymnastics season. That's it for the news tonight. Special thanks to Mr. Gordon Hampson, cameraman and editor, to Miss Peggy Beck, advisor, and to Jeff Kahn, student cameraman. Thank you for joining Michelle Simikowski and me, Dan Hutter, this evening. Stay tuned for Film Forum featuring guest Ken Garland. Tonight is the film noir presentation of Scarlet Street, starring Edward G. Robinson, which follows the junior high school news. Happy New Year to all those celebrating Rosh Hashanah, the first day of New Year in the Jewish calendar. Tonight we leave you with Ophelia, calmly surveying her domain. Good night, Ophelia.
Hello, I'm Sarah Duvall, and I'd like to welcome you to the first edition of Carusi News. During the summer, there has been many changes. The biggest and most obvious change has been the renaming of our school in honor of our late principal, Dr. John A. Carusi. Other changes have been the new banner here behind me. It was a gift from the Cherry Hill PTA. Another change would be our gymnasium floor. It was changed from branded Mustangs to Carusi Mustangs. Also, for all our school sports, the Board of Education had to buy new uniforms for all our athletic teams. Another change would be our new principal, whom you will be meeting in our next telecast, Dr. Max Wald. We have many more staff members, and you will be meeting them during the school year. As 8th graders, this is a difficult task to get used to saying Carusi and not Brainerd. Last Thursday, September 17th, 1987, while Philadelphia was celebrating the 200th anniversary of the Constitution of the United States with parades, historical programs, dignitaries, including the President, we at Carusi Junior School were celebrating the Constitution in our own patriotic way. Here's Heather Pertwee to explain what that was all about.
Our guest today is a very special one, for he is the person responsible for an incredible school performance from last week's We the People 200 celebration. He also happens to be the head of the Social Studies Department, and we feel we owe him a big thanks. Here with me is Mr. Murphy. Hello, Mr. Murphy. Welcome to the first edition of Carusi News.
Thank you, Heather. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell me, Mr. Murphy, it's only the second week of school. How did you get prepared so quickly?
Well, I think I can answer that by saying that we started very early. We started back in May of last year, in which we had a call for some volunteers from then the 7th grade, and some 35 or so students came forward. Of that 35, some 11 became cast members, and those cast members came forward in August of this year to read a script that I had prepared and to memorize their lines. And I think that's the key, the key being the dedication and commitment of students to come early to school and to prepare that presentation for you.
And how about all that terrific colonial clothing? Where did it all come from?
Well, I had an idea that the most memorable thing about the day would be teachers dressed in historically accurate costumes. And through the help of a former Carusi student, I was able to secure some costumes from Pierre Costumes in Philadelphia and hopefully make it a memorable day for students, that is, seeing their teachers in a costume that they'll long remember. And that was a difficult task because everyone wanted costumes for September 17th, Constitution Day, but we were able, I think, with some advanced planning to secure those, and as I mentioned, through the help of a former student, we were able to secure those costumes.
So tell us a little about Thursday. What went on?
Well, the day began in a very different way for staff here at school. As staff came into the main office, they were greeted by members of the Social Studies Department, dressed in the colonial outfits that I just mentioned, and each member of the staff was presented with a token or a remembrance of the day, specifically a Constitution Cup, on behalf of the Social Studies Department. After that, And as part of our morning announcements, we had a series of students, a group of students, move into each homeroom in order to declare the news of the day. They were called, I think very appropriately, not town criers, but Carusi criers. And they read the news to homerooms throughout the school. And then finally, all students were asked on Constitution Day to wear red, white, and blue to mark this significant day in history.
And here's some of that terrific tape on Thursday.
C14 for a presentation that will mark the bicentennial celebration of the United States Constitution. It is one in a variety of activities that we've brought to you here at John Carusi. And just recapping those for you, from our bicentennial minutes to our homeroom criers, to our display in the front lobby, to the dressing of red, white, and blue, I think we are about to cap off just an outstanding week of activities for you. And that conclusion, I think, is best served by our presentation here this afternoon.
Reporting live from Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Those of you present here today are going to be witness to a psychic phenomenon. For reasons unknown to us, this room, where the Constitution was written 200 years ago, is going to be revisited by those who argued, compromised, wrote, and after 116 days, finally signed the document we know today as the Constitution.
George, the crowd's yes, but I'm amazed at how this room looks. It's exactly as it was 200 years ago. The chairs, the tables, the desks, the books, everything.
The changes are the real story, Dan. Have you walked one block away from Independence Hall? It's like something I couldn't imagine. Buildings so tall it hurts my neck to look up. Moving carriages without horses. And the attire is outlandish. Men in long pants and women dressed like men. The people, so many people. They have 4 million in this city alone. We had that many in our entire nation.
Change is all around us, yes. But let's talk about what is really important. Changes to this. They changed it 26 times.
No, they didn't. They added 26 items. They called them amendments.
Edmund Randolph of the great state of Virginia insisted that the executive should be more than one person. To your government and be your rulers.
But I, Alexander Hamilton, thought that the presidents should serve for life. I said that it would be embarrassing to watch a lot of ex-presidents wander around like ghosts.
Well, you may have been correct, Mr. Hamilton, but I find it hard to believe that on such a historic occasion as the bicentennial of the U.S. Constitution, that no ex-presidents have been invited to attend or to officiate at any of the proceedings.
The ex-presidents are not quite wandering around like ghosts, but I heard that Richard Nixon has been listening to some tapes. Joel Gorge is with someone with a ball on the golf course, and Jimmy Carter is supervising the peanut crop on his farm in Plains, Georgia.
Besides your concern about ex-presidents, I, Albert Geary of Massachusetts, thought that the citizens were badly informed and they were the worst ones to have electing a president.
The legislature, I, William Patterson, of the great state of New Jersey, came to the rescue of the small states by proposing a one-house legislature with each state having one vote.
Two-year term for members of the House.
Yes, but we had problems with the senator's term of office.
I, George Reed of Delaware, suggested 9 years, while my friend Charles Copeland Pickney of South Carolina proposed 4.
That was a terrific presentation, and I'd like to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be with us here on Carusi News.
Well, thank you, Heather, and it was a pleasure being here, and thanks again for the compliment.
And now back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Heather, for that informative interview. I must say that was a very interesting presentation. Even though we had to attend school last Thursday and couldn't be in Philadelphia to celebrate the Constitution with thousands of people, thanks to Mr. Murphy and our fellow students, the mood was very festive and patriotic right here at Carusi. Well, that's it for tonight, and we hope you enjoyed our first telecast of the new Carusi News. I, along with Heather, are very honored to be the first anchor and interviewer for our weekly telecasts. I'm Sarah Duvall, saying good night for Carusi News, and you have yourselves a good weekend.
This is Cable 18, the Cherry Hill Public Schools television station.